Hey yo guys, what's going on? It's James here. Just wanted to welcome you really quickly to the Revolution Fitness Alpha Blueprint Strongman Transformation Program. The purpose of this video is to just give you a brief overview of the program and let you know what you're going to be doing as part of it, and to send you on some important videos that you need to watch before you get going. So, we're going to talk about the start times and the training days. The training, the nutrition, and then the conditioning and the cardio. When you link all three of those together, what you're going to get is a complete physique transformation. So the start times and training days, we're going to do an induction day on Monday the 23rd of January at 6 p.m. or if you can't make that, Tuesday the 24th of January at 7 p.m. If you can't make either of those, please reply to this email and let me know, okay? It's super important that you do this induction day, because we're going to do a technique workshop on the main lifts. That's the squat, bench press, and deadlift. And we're going to do an introduction then to the strongman lifts as well. So the regular training times that are available right now that aren't booked out are as follows. Monday at 6 and 7, Tuesday at 7, Wednesday 6 and 7, Thursday 6 and 7, and then Saturday at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Now we may have a couple of Friday slots opening up as well. Unfortunately, there's no early morning slots available in Glastonbury at the moment, but if you did want to train in the morning, we may be able to accommodate you in Drumcondra. So it's super important that you do attend 3 of those workouts at least. You don't need to attend the same time every day, but it would be helpful if you could commit to a regular training time, just so you get it as part of your routine. If any of those times are a problem, please just shoot me back a mail and let me know, and we'll work something out for you. So the technique workshop is going to be about teaching you how to lift weights the right way. So you may have been taught this before, you may not have been, but regardless, we're going to refine your technique and make sure you're doing it safely and effectively. So the thing with it is, getting strong can be dangerous, but getting strong the right way won't be. What that means is that basically you need to lift weights the correct way. You can horse around weights and be an idiot for as long as you want, but eventually it's going to catch up on you, and eventually progress will stall or you'll get injured. So the first thing we're going to do is have a look at some basic mobility screens. So what's your ankle, hip, and upper body mobility like? If they're good, that means you'll be able to get into really good positions and lift the most weight. If they're not good, that means we can start to work on the issue, whatever that is, be it a flexibility thing, a muscle thing, or even a weakness or stability thing, and then we can modify movements and provide alternatives for you to make sure you can complete the program safely, effectively, and get the most benefit out of it. When we're doing any sort of technique work or any lifting at all, what we're always looking for is mechanics, consistency, and intensity. So the mechanics are you doing it properly? And again, we'll explain that and we'll run through everything on the first couple of days and make sure you're doing it correctly. The entire first week is really going to be devoted to just making sure your training is done properly, making sure you get the movements so that you can hammer it on from week 2. So we're going to make sure you move properly. Then we're going to make sure you can do it consistently, so even under fatigue. And from there, then we're going to ramp up the intensity. So intensity in this context is how hard we push you. So that's stuff like adding more weight, it's decreasing your rest periods, it's making you do more reps. So the first thing we're always looking for is, can you do the movement correctly? Can you do it consistently? And then let's go smash you and put as much weight as possible on before the mechanics and the consistency starts to break down. If they do break down, we'll pull you back a little bit and we'll reestablish a baseline from there. Done right in this is always better than done heavy. Okay, there's no point smashing yourself into the ground with the heaviest weights possible or doing half reps, with weights you shouldn't even be handling, because all you're going to do is get injured, get fucked up, and get pissed off because you're not making progress. So our number one job is to make sure you're safe and that you're moving forwards. So if we do tell you to back the weight off, or if we tell you to change something, we're doing it for your benefit. Okay, we're not doing it just to piss you off. We're not doing it because we want to make you weaker. We're doing it because long term we're trying to make you stronger, fitter, more muscular, and a better person. What you need to remember with this is that muscle ultimately moves weights. So a lot of strength work comes down to neural efficiency, so understanding how to use your body to move the most weight. But at the end of the day, the strongest guy is usually going to be the most muscular as well, and he's usually going to look the best. So what we're going to try and do is get you as strong as possible and as muscular as possible over the next 12 weeks so that you can move the most weight possible and look the best that you ever have. So the main lifts are going to be your squat, bench press, and deadlift. They're the foundational movements, and they cover off all of the body's main movement patterns, with the exception maybe of upper body pulling, but we'll talk about that during the workshop. So the squats are really heavy, quad and hamstring dominant lower body movement. The bench press obviously covers a lot of the muscles of your upper body. Maybe you need a little bit of rowing and pull-up work to make sure your back gets trained properly. And then your deadlift has pretty much the biggest muscular recruitment in your entire body. Everything from the bottom of your skull right down to the base of your heels is going to be used when you're deadlifting. Making sure you get those right means more muscle, it means better fat loss, it means more functionality overall. When I say functionality, what I really just mean is your ability to walk, to move, to operate, to lift heavy stuff without being put in danger. So, to be able to function as a normal human being, but on a higher level. What I'm going to get you to do, and what you'll see in closing this email, is tutorial videos. So it'll be 3 videos covering the foundations of the squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. If you can watch that ahead of Monday, that would be absolutely incredible, because it means you'll come in understanding a lot of what we're going to tell you anyway, and it means we can kind of get through the basics nice and fast and then focus on some more advanced stuff on the day. So if you do have 45 minutes over the next 3 or 4 days to dedicate to that, please try and do it. Strongman training, it is what it is. The events will change from competition to competition in a true strongman event, but there's always some consistent ones that always hang around. So what we've done is we've taken some strongman principles and some of the more easy to apply and safer strongman lifts for the average person and rolled them in as part of the training. So that's going to be stuff like prowlers, so heavy sled pushes, battling ropes, overhead log pressing, farmer's walk, so carrying weight for distance, and then weighted carries, things like putting bars on your back or sandbags on your shoulder and moving with those. So really, when you look at the average strongman competition, what you have is a load of guys who are massively muscular, moving large loads over long distances as quickly as they can. Like, ultimately, that's kind of the point of strongman. It's not a static event. It's a movement-based sport where they're carrying stuff, they're lifting stuff, they're throwing stuff. It's like field athletics, but at a higher and heavier level. As a result, it means there's a massive calorie and fitness demand, which is brilliant for you, because it means you lose fat faster, it means you get stronger faster, it means you get more healthy more quickly. So it's brilliant for sports, but it's also brilliant for desk jockeys. What I mean by that is, if you think about sports, sport doesn't happen on a consistent, reliable pattern. It happens unpredictably. You go into contact in a different position each time, you tackle in a different position each time, you're sprinting, you're stopping, you're turning, you're cutting. The better you get at doing everything and doing it with weight, the better you'll become at sports. For desk jockeys, our body wants to move. If you spend 7 or 8 hours a day sitting down at a desk, you're not fulfilling one of your body's main requirements, and that's its need and its ability to move. Okay, your body loves movement, it loves doing stuff. So there's kind of this deep innate desire within it to actually lift heavy shit, to move fast, to move strong, especially if you're a guy. You need to move, you need to be a man and pick shit up. So it's going to be an incredible feeling and experience to be able to do that with heavy loads and to see yourself getting stronger each week. Okay, 2 seconds, I need a drink of water. All right, next up, we've got the program overview. So this is what your training sessions are going to look like. Every day we're going to have a main lift. So a squat, a bench press, or a deadlift. And the goal of that over the next 12 weeks is to make you stronger on those, to make you stronger than you ever have been. With those, what we may do is we may wave them up and down. Don't worry too much about how we're going to train you on them, but what I will tell you is every week you're going to get more capable, you're going to lift more weight, and by the end of it you won't recognize yourself. Following on from there, we're going to have 2 paired exercises, so an assistance movement and a complementary or weak point movement. So what that is like, let's say if you're squatting, like an assistance movement would be something that directly helps your squat, like another squat variation, like a front squat or a pause squat, or something like glute or hamstring dominant. Then there'll be some complementary or weak point assistance work on something where you suck. So on a squat, that could be something like your core, it could be hamstrings, it could even be something from a different lift you're not very strong on. So with a bench press, it could be some extra tricep work, or it could be some extra upper back work, or some rowing work for your deadlift. And again, we'll have a similar setup then for the bench press and the deadlift as well. C1 to 3 is basically going to be 1, 2, or 3 exercises done as a block of work for a period of time. So the easiest way to explain that would be you might have, let's say, a close grip bench press for 8 reps, superset it with split squats for 12 reps. you alternate back and forth between those for 10 to 12 minutes, and your objective over time is to increase the amount of work you do. So you do that by either doing more rounds inside the 8 to 12 minutes or using heavier weights and completing the same number of rounds or hopefully even more rounds again. So with this, we're really looking at your work capacity. How much work can you get done in a period of time? Because you're using upper and lower body alternating movements, you'll have the ability to keep going for longer, because when your upper body is working, your lower body is resting, and vice versa. That means you get a phenomenal amount of work done, you get a lot of muscle built, and you get a hell of a lot of calories burnt in a very short period of time. Then we're going to look at the strongman conditioning at the end. So this is where all the strongman work is going to kind of tie together, and we're going to start playing with the logs, the prowlers, the farmer's walks, and that sort of stuff. It's going to change each week, so I don't want to go too far into it, but basically what's going to happen is you're going to have 10, maybe 12 minutes work at the end, moving heavy weights and large loads over long distances quickly. Food it's really, really simple. It's just not easy. Alright, so essentially what you want to do is get away from eating like a small child. And what that means is eat your veg, eat your good quality food, prepare in advance, and don't become a slave to your emotions and to your hunger. Guys, with food, preparation really is the key, and making sure you know what's coming and you know what you need to eat over time is super important. If you don't have food in front of you, or if you don't have food ready to be eaten, your chance of messing up or going to the wrong food source is so much higher. So, if you have let's say if you have some chicken and some really nice veg that you enjoy in the fridge waiting to be eaten, once you're hungry, you'll go and eat that. If you don't, once you're hungry, you're going to go and eat whatever the first thing you get your hands on is. And for most people, that's chocolate. It's a Mars bar, it's a packet of crisps, it's a takeaway. It's something you probably shouldn't be eating, but you eat it anyway because you've become a slave to your food because you haven't prepared in advance. So I'm going to give you 2 videos with this. One is a 60-second nutrition makeover, which explains really quickly what a meal needs to look like. The second then is a 60-minute members webinar I shot a few weeks ago where we brought everyone in the gym together, we sat down and we talked about exactly what you need to do to drop fat, to build muscle, and to get the body of your dreams. Again, these links are in the video, or the video links are in the email you will receive with this video. So if you have any questions on those, please just let me know. Then, finally, we're going to talk a bit about the conditioning and cardio. So a large part of getting in shape is just doing a bit more work. You're looking for realistically 30 to 60 minutes of activity 4 to 5 days a week. So that's going to be 3 heavy strength training sessions with us in the gym, and then 2 homework sessions yourself. Now you can do those 3 ways, and we're going to give you the option of doing them gym based on your own in a different gym and following them. You can do them at home with no equipment, or sprints, and preferably hill sprints. The beauty of hill sprints is that they're really hard to mess up. You find a hill that's 50 to 80 meters long, you run up it as fast as you can, you take a break, you walk back down, and you do it again. Okay, it's a lot less likely to injure you than flat sprints are because there's no deceleration component and there's no impact component. Like if you think about sprinting on a flat surface, you've got to brake and you've got to slow down, and a lot of the time that happens with your heels impacting, your hips and knees getting shot, and that's where the hamstring pulls start to happen. On a hill, if you want to slow down, you just stop moving. The hill is this incredible brake. So if you're sprinting flat out, but you want to stop, you don't have to worry about decelerating it. The hill will do that for you. Therefore, hill sprints are a brilliant option for people who may not have been that athletic or who are coming back from injuries. What I'm going to do again is I'll give you a video overview of week 1 of this sort of stuff. Please watch it if you get a chance. If not, we'll talk a little bit more about it during your first week. And again, any questions on it, just let me know. Finally, let's talk about what you can expect. Okay, so this is realistically, if you follow what we say and if you really give this 100% for the 12 weeks, here's what you can expect. Depending on where you start, you'll get muscle gains of between 2 and 4 pounds per month, assuming you're eating enough food and you're training hard enough. If you're a beginner, if you've never lifted weights before, you're more likely to be at the upper end of this scale. If you're already an advanced lifter, if you're somebody who's got like 2, 3, 4, 5 years of training experience, you'll be at the lower end or possibly even below. But that's not such a big deal for guys who are already experienced because they already are in pretty good shape. They just need to be polished off a little bit. When we talk about fat and weight loss, really what we're talking about is your body fat percentage. So how much of your total mass is fat? For guys, the minimum target becomes 12 to 15% to look really good and to look really in shape. most guys probably walk around high teens, 20, 25, maybe even up to 30%. So over the course of 12 weeks, what you can expect to do if you do this properly is a drop of 0.75 to 1% body fat per week. So that translates then to between 8 and 12%. So for most guys, no matter where you're at now, you should be in pretty good shape by the end of it. If you've got a lot of body fat to lose, like if you're 30+% or higher, you'll drop it a little bit quicker, but you'll also look like a completely different guy by the end of it. So strength increases then of between 50 and 100%, depending on where you start from. Again, the less experienced you are, the higher your increase is going to be. The more experienced you are, the lower your increase is going to be. If you're already a dude coming into us who's got a 160 kilo back squat, you've probably been training for 3 or 4 years. So even getting from 160 to 165 or 170 is going to be a huge achievement. If you're a guy who's come in and never lifted any weights, you may find yourself struggling to bench press the bar and finish up doing 50, 60 kilos. So, you know, even 100% maybe underplaying it a little bit. But the more room for improvement you have, the more improvement you'll get. Usually what happens with guys who come into us is they make more improvements in 6 weeks than they do in 6 months. You're going to see obviously a massive cardio and fitness boost. You're going to be moving heavy weights over large loads over long distances quickly with the strongman stuff. You're going to be hitting your hill sprints as well. And then, you know, if you can get out for a walk once or twice a week, that'd be even better. The really cool thing off of this though is you're going to have a lot more confidence because you're going to walk around knowing you've taken on a challenge and knowing you've overcome it. You know, we don't do much physical activity anymore as a human race. It's something we've really neglected, and it's something I feel is a big issue for us. So if you can take control of your body, if you can overcome physical challenges, and if you can set discipline in your head to train, get stronger, get fitter, and look better, it'll have massive implications for your confidence, and you will become more confident for it. The final thing then is you're probably going to get a really big clothes bill. What I mean by that is, look, if you do this properly, if you gain this muscle, if you drop this fat, you're going to need a new wardrobe. And I'm going to apologize in advance for that. But you know what? If that's your biggest problem at the end of 12 weeks, you've done a really fucking good job. So look, guys, you're going to find us here on Ballyboggin Road. So we're in Revolution Fitness at Cayuzo Gym. So Cayuzo Mixed Martial Arts Gym. You'll see it on the screen here in the middle. We're Unit 2A, Ballyboggin Business Centre, Glasnevin, Dublin 11. Come on in. Let's kick off from Monday. If you have any questions or if there's anything that's unclear as part of this presentation, please just let me know and I'll get back to you ASAP, okay? Guys, myself and the team are really pumped to get you started. We can't wait to help you get stronger, fitter, and look better.